Hello again, everybody, and on behalf of the All-Star Football Officials Association Training Committee, I'd like to welcome you to our Week 5 training video. This week, I'm going to keep it a lot simpler. We're just going to cover one topic, and that is goal line mechanics for wings and deeps. We've had several plays come through huddle. Some of them look really good, but there's some plays too where we're kind of lacking. I'm not sure if we've just haven't worked on it enough at this point, or if we're just not communicating. I think that's what a lot of it is. Wings communicating with deeps, wings communicating with the referee, just to make sure we've got the goal line covered. Again, that is the most important line on the field. Nobody cares if you work a perfect game, from the 10 to the 10, and you get everything right. If you mess one up on the goal line, that's the one they're going to remind you about. So let's make sure when it comes to goal line mechanics, we're money, and especially when we get down there, we're communicating, letting everybody know where we're at, what we're doing at all times. So we're going to watch a couple plays on that. But before we get going, I just want to talk real quick too about ball rotation. Guys, again, make sure pregame, and it all starts pregame. Make sure we're checking footballs one, and that we're getting with our ball boys. You may have one ball boy, and it may be a team that says, "Look, we're not rotating the ball. We don't care about that. We're just going to kick with the same ball, this, that, and the other." That's fine. That's kind of what you want. But then again, you may have one that has got 2 or 3 ball boys, and they want to rotate the ball every 2 or 3 plays, and they claim they have this kicking ball and all this, that, and the other. Communicate with them. Make sure both sides know that. And again, we don't really have kicking balls. There's no such thing as a kicking ball, but we will oblige them if they can do it in a timely manner. They want to put some in on a 4th down ball they like to punt with. If we can rotate it in and work it in, a lot of times we'll oblige that. But again, make sure it's legal. Make sure it has white stripes on it. It's got all the laces it's supposed to have. It's got the Federation stamp and all that. But again, just make sure we practice ball rotation. In a long pass, we're in through the wings, and the deeps get it worked over to the other side if that's what we need to do. That way we're not chasing down a ball, especially with a 40-second play clock. Umpire's not running 30 yards down the field to chase a ball down and stuff like that when we've got, at the end of that play, the clock's running on us. So just something to talk about pregame this week. Make sure I'm on the right page. But aside from that, again, we'll talk about goal line mechanics. So let's go ahead and jump right into that. All right, when we're talking about goal line mechanics, one of the most important things you can do to help yourself at the goal line happens pregame. And if you wonder what I'm talking about, it's cleaning up the goal line to give yourself a spot to work. So you see in this case, this is one of these schools that has these markers. You got them at the goal line, the 10, the 20, 30. Matter of fact, they got them all over the field. But the ones you're really concerned about, 20, 10, goal line, the best thing you can do pregame and make it a habit of going around if you see them is take them right here and just move them back. Pick them up, move them as far back as you can. They don't really serve any purpose. If anybody says anything to you about them, too bad. You've got to get them out of your way. This is your spot to work. I've moved them forever. Nobody's ever said anything. Nobody's ever tried to move them back. Take them, get them out of your way. Deep guys especially. Wing guys, you want to have that area, but deep guys, you're there. You've got goal line responsibility for more plays than the wing guys do. So you're there just as much as the wing guys. So deep wings, line guys, walk around, pregame, take these, move them as far back as you can get them out of your way. Especially deep guys, you've got more of an incentive to do it, because if you're backpedaling down here and you step on one of these going backwards, and I've seen it happen more than once, you could end up taking a pretty nasty spill. So get together, guys on the same side, go ahead, get both ends before the game, move them out of the way. So, and you'll see, I'll let this play out, and we'll talk a little bit when we get here of why it's so important. So right here, I'll play out a little more. All right, so here you go. So this is a deep guy. Again, he's in the right spot. He's got goal line. He's on the goal line. But he needs to be able to have room to work. This is coming at him quick. You've got a runner coming down the sideline. You've got a block right here. So you're going to end up having 4 guys coming. This is where everybody's going for. this pylon right here. So again, if you move these out of the way, you've got room to work. So if it's coming at you, you can simply keep your eye on the play. You can back up, back up, back up. It gets you out of the way, and not only does it get you out of the way, but you got a better look from back there anyway. If you're right here on the pylon, it's coming straight at you. You've got your head cocked all the way to the side. By the time it gets on you, if you stay there, you're looking straight down at your feet. And not only are you looking straight down at your feet trying to judge, because you can't see, again, you're not really seeing this block out in front of you. It's hard to see whether you stepped out. All you'll know is right here at the pylon for the split second before you get wiped out. And if you get wiped out, you're not really doing yourself, your crew, or anybody any good. So we'll let it play out, and you'll see, bam, it happens quick. So, and I'll come right there. And again, we avoid this if we just stand back here. And we kick that away, we're just standing back here, it all goes right past you. You got to look at it. You either got him in for a touchdown, or you see him step out at the 1 or the 2, or whatever it is. Communicate with your wing guy coming to you right here. But you definitely not getting run into. So again, just give yourself room, give yourself space. Signaling touchdown, it counts the same if you're standing here, you're signaling, or if you're standing back here in the shrubs back here and you're signaling. It's all the same. But at the very least, at least you're not getting run over, getting hit. Self-preservation, again, being number one. Take care of yourself first. And you've got to look out for yourself. Don't put yourself in a bad spot, which is what happened here. And luckily, he's okay. He took a little hit, but it could have been a lot worse. If they go low, it could break your leg. If they go too high, they can knock you out or bust your lip or something like that. So it goes back to pregame, moving these out of the way, giving yourself room. Start right here. As you see it coming at you, just back out, back out, back out. Let it all go right through here, and then you can roll on it. Got a lot better look. We're still working hard, but if you're standing still, you've got a much easier look at it. You can process the information a lot better. So do yourself a favor, get rid of these things pregame. All right, so sticking with goal line mechanics, I'll break it down kind of real basic. Just remember, when we're talking about goal line mechanics, that starts from plays, and it doesn't matter whether it's 6-man or 7-man. If we're snapping at the 7, the wings have the goal line 99% of the time. Now, there are some situations, let's say the ball's at the 7, it's 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2 at the 7. They can get a first down at the 5, and we know kind of without a doubt that they're gonna just either quarterback sneak or try to, they're a running team, wing tee, whatever it is, they're gonna try and run for that first down. It's okay at that point, just communicate with your deeps and say, hey, I know we're at the 7, y'all have the goal line, because we want to make sure that we also have that line to gain at the 5 covered. So again, 95 to 99% of the plays, it's just a safe bet to say, all right, we'll go goal line mechanics at the 7. And again, remember, it doesn't matter whether it's 6 or 7. It used to be the 10, but it's the 7, so don't get confused because we're in 6 or we're in 7-man. That's all the same now. It's a 7-yard line. So with that out of the way, starting, this ball's about the 5 or 6, maybe it looks like. So we're goal line mechanics. Looks good. Hopefully we've communicated that. Hey, deep guys back here. Hey, I'm deep. Good. I got the goal line. Both of y'all communicate with each other over the radio, whatever it is. Hey, point at each other, point at the goal line. Let your crew know, hey, on the snap, let's get to the goal line. So, and again, we want to go into that. At the snap, again, the goal line is the most important line on the field for us. So at the snap, we want to get to the goal line. We want to be able to beat the runner to the goal line. We want to be able to get down here and beat any quick slant they got to the goal line, stuff like that. But the only way to do that is at the snap, get back there. You've got to get going, whether you shuffle, whether you kind of walk, just whatever it is, make sure you get there. And we'll let this play out and you kind of see. So snap, we both kind of hold. This guy's working a little bit. Quarterback almost down. We don't commit to him, which is good. But again, by now we should be right here at the goal line. both wings should be at the goal line, standing nice, relaxed, back off of it, and just watch it all work out. So as this plays out, you'll see we got a pass, and I know it's hard to tell right here, but now not only are we not at the goal line, but now we've put ourselves in a worse spot because now we're running, so we're moving to try and get there. So we're moving to try and get there, and this ball is, I don't know, you can't tell from here. Maybe he's in, maybe he catches it, maybe he doesn't, maybe he's a foot short, but again, both wings we're having to work hard. They're dang near in a full sprint to try and get there, and they've had plenty of time. So again, it's just, you just have to remind yourself when you get down there every play, look at you, hey, we got the goal line, we got the goal line, and just book it there. So at the snap, get there. I'd rather you be at the goal line at the snap. They lose. It goes over his head, whatever it is, and they lose, and we're having to get, was he down at the 19 or was he down at the 20? Who cares? Honestly, we'll figure that out. If we got to run back here 20 yards and guess, I'd rather have to run backwards 20 yards. Plus, you got the referee who can help you as well with anything going backwards. But I'd rather have to run backwards 20 yards and guess at a spot than have to be running forwards when we could have put ourselves there, than have to be running forward and get a spot that's right there at it. And God forbid this be a fourth down play and he was short when we put him in, or he was in and we, put him short, and now we've done a disservice to one of the teams. Where if we had just been standing there watching it, we come in, we sell it, and they have nothing. Coaches, players, they got nothing they can gripe at. We put ourselves in a good spot. We just fooled with whatever we saw, and they can't say, well, you were in a bad spot, you were running this, that, and the other. Nothing they can say. We're right here. We got our head locked in. We're doing it that way. Again, don't be worried about whether or not he crossed the line. That's not your responsibility. When we go to goal line mechanics, that's the umpires. But I'd still rather have to guess about whether or not he crossed right here than have a say, well, we had officials here. We know he wasn't. We know he didn't cross the line, coach. I can't tell you whether or not he's in the end zone down here, but I can tell you that he was behind the line. That, the coach ain't gonna care at that point if we got that right, if we missed it down here. So just to emphasize again, if it's goal line mechanics, get to the goal line. Get to the goal line, get to the goal line, get to the goal line, and stay there and work backwards if you have to. All right, that last clip we talked about goal line mechanics for the wings on plays from the 7 and in. Now let's talk about, instead of going in, let's talk about coming out. So we know from the 3 and in, so if we're snapping from the 3-yard line to the goal line, at the snap, both officials, line judge and head linesman, will immediately retreat to the end zone. Doesn't matter formation, doesn't matter if they're under center, shotgun, whatever it is. They're going to retreat to the goal line to make sure it's covered. They'll stay there and hang out there until the ball is no longer a threat to the goal line. So if we're at the 1 and you go to the goal line and they pile up and it go, he gets maybe to the 1 or so and he's kind of running sideways. Let's say he gets here and he starts running kind of sideways. Just stay at the goal line. Don't try to shuffle with him. Just stay at the goal line and we'll pick him up. Because the last thing you want is to start shuffling. He gets to about the 3. A defender comes up, knocks the ball out. We're starting to shuffle up here, and now we've got a ball headed back towards this pylon, and we've got a mess, people diving on it. So, again, just let it go by you. So if we were snapping from the 3, it would be both of you. Hang out here. Let the play start moving away from you. And then when it starts to move away, then we can officiate it when that goal line is not threatened anymore. So, in this case, we're at the 4. So it changes a little bit. Now, the mechanics manual is going to tell you from the 3 to the 7, we want the line judge down here to hold the line of scrimmage. So since we're at the 4, the line judge is going to hold the line of scrimmage. The referee, you can't see him. He's back here. He's got the end line. So the head linesman is going to be responsible for this goal line. Especially in this case, they're in shotgun. So as soon as he snaps this ball, the ball's in the end zone. And anytime the ball is either in the end zone or, especially moving that way, it's threatening that goal line, we've got to get somebody back here on it. So we'll let this play out a little bit. You see that's a good job right there. It's, immediately at the snap, he worked back They hand the ball off. There's not much going on. It's pretty obvious unless he just trips right there, that he's going to get a few yards and work his way out, and he does. But a good job of getting back. You see it there. He works about 6, so we're good. He does a good job, works back, follows it back up this way. We'll play it again. That's a really good job of goal line mechanics when we're coming out. So, see, nice and easy right there. And I'll show you. Let's go to the next snap, because put them down, in this case, about the 5. And now we're punting. So let's talk a little bit about what we do here. So the ball is snapped at the 6. So referee has a goal line. So somebody needs to, referee has the in line. So somebody needs to cover the goal line. Now the book will tell you, we just said from the 3 to the 7, normal scrimmage play, head linesman will go back, line judge will hold it right here. But we also have a little bit of a conflicting mechanic, not in this situation, but there could be. If this kicker was left-footed, we could have a conflicting mechanic that would tell us that the referee would be on this side of him, and that a bad snap would put the head linesman holding the line and the line judge going back to cover the goal line or help box it in with the referee. So it's a little bit gray here in terms of, do we want to keep the goal line mechanics and send the head linesman back there? And I'm talking hypothetical if we had the referee over here. Would we send the head linesman back because that's just what goal line mechanics say? Or do we just talk amongst ourselves and just communicate as a crew and say, all right, well, anytime that situation were to come up, we're going to want to keep it boxed in case something breaks down. So we'll keep the head linesman here and we'll send the line judge back. And just talking from the training committee a little bit, I think we just need to communicate this as it happens. So again, there's nothing in the book. Can't put every single situation that comes up in a mechanics manual. But as long as we're communicating, referee, head linesman, line judge, about who's got this and how we're going to do it if we get a funny situation or we're down on the other side of the field. If we flip the field, we'd be in the same kind of situation as we would be in if we had a referee over here. So biggest thing here is either way, if we're snapping from the 7, in this case the 6, that ball's in the end zone and the referee's on the end line, we need somebody back here. In this instance, through communication, it's going to be the head linesman back here. So immediately at the snap, we want him back here. And I don't know, 90% of the plays he'll catch it and get rid of it and nothing happens. But God forbid we have 2 guys standing here, referee on the end line, he drops the punt or he freaks out because he's getting rushed, decides to run, and he gets piled up somewhere right here, and we've got 2 guys holding the line. So again, we just need to communicate anytime we get down here to the goal line, who's got it. If it's 3, it's both of us. If it's the 6 on the register's plates here, and if it's a punt, we've got something funny going on. We just need to communicate so that anytime we're right here, we've got from the 7-yard line, we have somebody on this goal line covering the goal line, especially anytime the ball's in it, for whatever reason. So communication's key. I know I've talked a lot on this play, but communication is important. We've talked about that every week, and we will continue to talk about it. So make sure going forward that we get in weird situations like this where it kind of goes against what the book says, that we communicate that and we get the goal line covered. All right, we spent some time covering goal line mechanics for the wing officials, so we'll spend a little bit of time now talking about deep officials. So in this case, we're snapping from about the 11 or 12, somewhere around there. But anytime we're inside the 20, the deep guys should be right here on the goal line. And as I'm speaking, I'm talking mainly about a crew of 6. A crew of 7, we would obviously have a back judge back here, which will make it even easier than what we have right now. So again, deep guys, you should be on the goal line. And like I talked about earlier, stay off the pylon a little bit, get back somewhere around here, and just as a general kind of rule, make sure we're at least facing the field. We can be angled to see if we got a receiver over here or something like that. You know, we can angle in a little bit, but for the most part, let's make sure we have our shoulders squared up with the field right here. So with that being said, again, to be a deep guy in this situation is kind of what you want. You really don't have to move. Now, on most plays, you just get to stand here and watch everything happen, which is fantastic. The less we move, the better off we are. Save your feet, your knees, and just give you a better look of everything if you're not having to chase a play or backpedal or do stuff. So this is the situation you want to be in. And you'll see as we just as a reminder, if we have the goal line, that means we are responsible for the goal line that entire play. So we got the goal line. We've told our wing guys that we're responsible for it. So we have to stay here. Unless by some chance they throw a deep ball back here, and I'll show another clip later, they throw a ball that threatens, we know that it's going to get past this goal line, and we know it's going to threaten this inline. Then if we need to, if we think we'll have a better look, it gets tight back here or something, we can start to move back towards that back pylon a little bit once the ball's thrown, we see it happening. But again, as the play's happening, we want to try not to be moving. But if we can cheat a little bit, gives ourselves a little bit better angle to see his feet in, to see a catch, then that's fine. But this, again, if we've got the goal line, especially on a run, just stand still. You've got it from the 2, so if he gets tackled at the 1 or something, you're just going to step back or step up right here and get the spot. But everything else from the 2, or really from the 3, all the way back to the rest of the field, they have it. So we'll let this kind of play out, and I'll show you. You just see the snap. He's creeping back. There's really no need for that. I mean, I know we have. You can see here. There's some guys. This is a receiver kind of fading back here, but there's no threat here. We need to be standing still right here, because right now we're really no good to anybody. We're not at the goal line. If this guy breaks this tackle, we have to come running back. And again, if we're running, we can't really see. Well, we can see, but it makes it more difficult to see any kind of action in front of them. So again, the best thing to do is almost do nothing. and I know that might sound kind of weird, but just stand right here and let it come to you. So again, you'll see as it plays out, it comes to the sideline. We're not really any help at all if we're back here, because if he breaks that, or he gets punched out and he fumbles and anything starts happening to this goal line, now we're having to sprint to get back. Or this guy's, sees you back here and he's having to run up here and work a lot harder than he should be. So again, Deeps, just hang tight. The only reason we should be moving back here is if we got a pass that threatens, within a yard or 2 or a step or 2 of this inline, then we can get back here if we need to see a better angle. But again, you don't necessarily have to. If it's, if you think standing still right here will give you a better look at his feet right here, that's fine too. But again, just remember, if we're responsible for the goal line at the start of the play, you're responsible for it until that play ends. So hang tight. Don't be eager to move. Don't feel like you've got to run around and find something to do. Just hang tight right here. Let it all come to you and go from there. Okay, on this play right here, and it's really a follow-up to the last clip, and I know I've used this play before, or used this clip before in a previous video, but I just want to show you the kind of rare case in which, as a deep, we're not starting on the goal line, but we are responsible for it. So he's going to get to the goal line, and then he's going to read this pass. He knows it's not threatening the front of the goal line anymore, and he sees he's got a big pile. He's got 4 or 5 guys in the back of the end zone. So as you see, you'll see the deep guy. He's going to give up that front pylon because he knows it's not threatening, and then he's going to go cover the back. Good timing. Make sure we got feet in, and we've got a catch. This is again, I know I've said it before, this is a great example of a time when we can give up this goal line because it's not threatened and go back and help out back here. Now, In a crew of, I'm just talking about a crew of 6. In a crew of 7, we don't need to do that. That back judge is going to be responsible for that. So we would hang tight right here. We just watch everything happen. We communicate with the back judge. Yes, we've got a catch from right here. We got a catch. He says we got a catch, and you both go up with a touchdown. But in this case, we're talking about a crew of 6. This is a good example of the kind of rare situation where it was the right decision to give up the goal line, cheat back here, check this in line. Timing's perfect. But I just wanted to follow up from the last one. This is a great job right here. Okay, on this play, we're going to have a pass that's going to be not really a fade. We're a little too far away from that. But it's going to be a pass. It's going to be right here, just past the pylon. And I want you to notice, deep guys are already on the goal line. Again, if you're going to start, you do yourself a favor and start off a yard or two. But as you can see here, if nothing else, this this little yard marker is about as far back as you can get it. So good job there, deep guy, getting that out of your way. But as it comes this other way, I'll let it play. We'll talk about what we're doing on pass plays look like that. So there you go. We got a pass play right here, deep guy. Again, we started on the line. We're in a good spot. We're on the goal line. We're watching it. We can see this. It looks like, assuming it's he actually holds on to it. We got a catch. He's got feet in bounds. We've got contact. So timing again. Don't just, as soon as you see this, don't start going up with a touchdown. So let it go. Play. That's good. That's good timing until right there. So we've got good timing. He knows we've got a touchdown. We're in bounds. And again, remember, we've got players out here. So he's done a fantastic job to this point. He held the goal line. He didn't try to run back here and get on top of it for no reason. He's calm. He's still. He's got it right there. He saw everything he needed to see. He knows he's got a touchdown, and we're good until right here when he, there you go, turn. Again, like I mentioned earlier, it doesn't matter from where or in which direction you signal touchdown. It all counts the same. So whether you're facing the field and you signal, or you're facing this way and you signal, or in this case, what we want you to do is watch that action. Stay with it. Don't go chasing after it. Just hold your ground right there. And instead of turning back in, let me back them up and go back in time. So instead of right here where we know we've got it, instead of turning in to face the field, just watch it. Just watch. Make sure he keeps control of the ball. Make sure there's no ugly stuff going on. Make sure that guy don't get up and spike it or do a throat slash, or the defender get up mad and kick him on his way past or something like that. So keep watching all that and just go straight up from right there. Just signal touchdown straight up from right there if that's what you've got. We don't have a deep guy back here in the corner. There's nobody we're really having to communicate with to see, you had him in, but did somebody else? This is kind of all you right here. So again, just keep your eyes on it. Keep an eye on that dead ball action. Go ahead, go up with the touchdown, and go from there. All right, so this play here is almost identical to the last play. Only difference is, matter of fact, is a couple plays later in the same game. So you're going to have the same deep official on the goal line down here. We're just going in the opposite direction. So a few plays later, I can tell you that after that last, what you saw, the last clip you saw, I had a conversation with that deep official. Say, hey, look, great call, good job. Hey, next time, don't turn in. Just turn around, watch the dead ball action. We'll be good to go. So I know that conversation was had. So as we let this play out, we're going to see whether or not he took that information to heart. So you see, almost identical play, and I tell you what, he learned, he heard, he learned, he took it all in, and like I said, just a few plays later, and instead of turning in, facing the field, he's watching the dead ball action. That's a great job. And as officials, and as a crew, that's all we can ask for. Is take the information you're given, the criticism you're given, learn from it. In this case, good communication in game, fix that problem. Good pre-game communication can fix problems, and good communication after a game can fix it. Watching film, huddle, stuff like this, like we're doing here with the training film. just take a little bit here and there, put it all together, and by the end of the year, hopefully we've made a lot of improvements. So again, just do the best you can, hustle, put yourself in good positions, and learn from your mistakes. All right, that's it for this week. Hopefully everybody got a little bit of something from the video they can take to their pregame discussions. But again, let's make sure we got the goal line covered. It is always the most important line on the field. Let's make sure we're communicating. I know I say that every week, but especially when it comes to goal line, let's make sure we're communicating. Communicate with your crew during the game, before the game, after the game. Got a lot of good games this week, so hopefully we'll get some good film back, and I'll have another topic for next week's training video. But till then, guys, stay safe. Thank you.